Thanks for joining us. I'm Megan Roberts. Evacuees from Fort Simpson, Northwest Territories are adjusting to the news that they probably won't be able to go back home for a while. A wildfire continues to burn dangerously close to the community, and it'll take a lot of work to bring it under control. A new map from NWT Wildfire shows the scale of the fire and the problem. This is a newly mapped fire perimeter released by NWT Wildfire. You can see just how close the fire came to parts of the community. NWT Wildfire says crews need to extinguish the edge of the southeast and eastern perimeter to reduce the threat. Crews are using aircraft today to fight the fire, including helicopters and skimmers. And they're also working to protect structures in the Wild Rose area of Fort Simpson. NWT Wildfire says the fire could still grow. It says the amount of work needed on the eastern part of the fire is significant. As you just heard, Fort Simpson evacuees are preparing for a longer stay than many expected. In a post on social media, the village of Fort Simpson has told residents they should be prepared for another 2 weeks away from home. It's not the news many were hoping for, and now some evacuees are facing new challenges. Grayson Tanche evacuated from Fort Simpson earlier this week, and she's stepped up to help evacuees in Yellowknife find the support they need.
Myself and a group of volunteers have stepped forward to support that and to be able to receive donations to support the immediate needs, making sure people are comfortable, making sure our elders have traditional food because there are dietary restrictions. There are things that our elders back home, we're not used to eating processed foods and things like that. So we're doing our best to make sure people are comfortable. But I guess receiving the news and the updates yesterday that we're in it for the long haul has brought up some more concerns, because the accommodations and things that we've received for support for our elders and families is short term. And so a lot of people are checking out of hotels today. So we're anticipating that people will be back at the multiplex and we'll have more people staying there. And so there's a lot of uncertainties right now.
Tanche says needs are growing as short-term accommodations run out. She says many hotels are booked up, which means some people don't have a place to stay. Tanche says volunteers are focusing on finding financial support for accommodations for elders and families with small children. We're also watching a wildfire that's threatening the community of Wrigley. Some rain overnight brought in a bit more humidity, which has allowed fire crews to approach the fire and do some reconnaissance. However, the fire is not contained yet and remains susceptible to wind shifts. That means there's no telling when people may be able to return home. Fort Smith is hosting evacuees from Wrigley. As they left their communities, many Fort Simpson and Wrigley evacuees had to make a difficult choice. Do they bring their pets? And if they do, what happens next? Jessica Davy-Quantick spoke with some of the people supporting evacuated pets in Yellowknife to find out.
She's just 6 years old, but Bella has already evacuated twice. When the Conisenta family fled Fort Simpson floods in 2021, and now the fire on Monday, they couldn't leave Bella behind.
She's like a little sister. She likes to act like she's protecting all of us, especially my little siblings, so can't leave her behind. She means too much. She's a little big baby too. Can't leave her there.
Many people had no choice, though. Pets weren't allowed on evacuation flights.
Yeah, it was a hard decision. And we also have a sister-in-law left a dog out there too, but the village will take care of it.
And if they drove, like the Conisentas, they're not allowed in the evacuation center at the Yellowknife Multiplex.
For reasons of hygiene and just noise and all of those things, it's just not possible to have pets in an evacuation center.
For Bella, that means her family is taking turns sleeping and staying outside with her until they can find a campsite, hotel room, or somewhere else to stay. The NWT SPCA has been accepting donations of food and other supplies. They're boarding several cats and dogs for evacuees. Unfortunately, they were already nearly at capacity before the evacuees even started to arrive, and they no longer have space. But they can help out with food, litter, leashes, bowls, and whatever else people may need.
A lot of animals were left behind as well in Simpson because they couldn't get on the plane. It's the same thing that happened before, unfortunately. So we did put a call out yesterday or the day before for dog food because we anticipate that we will be sending food into the communities that need it. We don't know exactly what's happening yet, but we're trying to figure out how to, if needed, to get especially dog food, into the communities of Wrigley and Simpson right now.
She says they've got enough donations for now, but their Facebook page will be updated if that changes. And cash donations are always welcome. Whether your pet is still at home or already an evacuee, Spencer says preparation is key. The NWT SPCA has a list for people to make sure if they have to leave, they have what their pets need.
We don't know what's going to happen in the future. This summer could be, hopefully not, but a summer like we had in 2023.
Jessica Davy-Quantick, CBC News, Yellowknife.
As wildfires burn in all regions of the Northwest Territories, the territorial government has issued a multi-jurisdictional fire ban. It covers multiple territorial parks within the North Slave, South Slave, and Dutcho regions. Those regions are essentially the entire southern half of the territory. The government of the Northwest Territories says the ban is meant to limit fires caused by people. It'll remain in place until it's no longer needed. Camp stoves, enclosed barbecues, and propane-fueled cooking and heating devices are permitted for use in NWT parks, but they must be placed within regulation fire pits and should not emit a flame more than half a meter in diameter and height. Fort Simpson Territorial Park is closed until further notice. A man in Kanaksutuak, Nunavik has died after a suspected hit and run. Nunavik police got a call early Wednesday morning about a man who was found injured in the community's marina parking lot. Witness reports suggest the man was struck by a vehicle which didn't stop or return to the scene. The man was later pronounced dead. Hours later, another man was arrested, and police found a vehicle that may have been used in the incident. No charges have been laid at this time. RCMP and Tuktoyaktuk NWT say a man died while trying to skip a snowmobile across water on Wednesday evening. The incident happened close to the community near Reindeer Point. Police say 2 people were attempting to skip a snowmobile across the water when the machine sank with one of the riders. The other person was able to swim to shore uninjured. The victim is a 32-year-old man who has yet to be identified. The NWT coroner is investigating. The federal government will give the Whitehorse Airport at least $2 million to buy an upgraded safety vehicle. It's called an Aircraft Rescue and Firefighting Vehicle, or ARFF. The Whitehorse Airport has used its existing one for 20 years. ARFF vehicles are designed to respond to airport emergencies. They have equipment to put out fuel fires and help passengers evacuate a plane. The airport's fire chief says it's a key part of his team's fleet.
We do roll out on a number of aircraft-specific technical calls, probably about 50 a year, once a week. And as you know, we've got a big highway above our heads right here that's trans-Pacific. We've got a lot of aircraft that are flying above our heads at any given minute, and those aircraft could encounter problems, and if they do, they're coming down here. Not unlike 9/11 when we had aircraft that were inbound for Anchorage and they were diverted to Whitehorse. So we have to be ready for all of those types of eventualities that could happen at any moment.
The Yukon government has submitted 5 applications for federal funding to upgrade airport equipment and infrastructure across the territory. A major project gaining federal traction in Nunavut could be good news for another project in the Northwest Territories. That's according to some in the NWT's mining sector. Last week, Ottawa announced it's considering listing Nunavut's Grays Bay Road and Port project as a project of national interest. As Sarah St. Pierre explains, the 2 projects could go hand in hand.
The Arctic Economic and Security Corridor is one of the NWT's 3 proposed major projects. It was referred to the Major Projects Office in March, but it wasn't part of the Northern Major Projects Ottawa picked on June 24th to begin the process of potentially listing as projects of national interest. That designation would speed up the timeline for any project on the federal end and shows top-level government support. So why does the NWT mining industry say that announcement was still good news for the corridor? Well, because of its ties to another major project that is being considered, the Grays Bay Road and Port.
They're designed to go together, and they're designed to create a value chain that goes from deep in the NWT all the way up over the border and to Tidewater in Grays Bay.
The people who support these projects say they'll offer boosts to northern security and northern mining.
Having that infrastructure in place is going to make a huge difference because exploration costs in the north are many times higher than those in southern parts of Canada. And one of the main reasons for those higher costs is the lack of infrastructure. So once those roads are in place, those exploration companies can get access to the ground they need.
Beyond exploration, one company says an all-season road like the corridor could also help shape the prospects of mining projects in the area, like the Courageous Lake Gold Project northeast of Yellowknife.
Without having infrastructure in place, it's an issue, not only in terms of cost, but also in terms of bankability. You know, having a project that you can't have access to 365 days a year for spares and things like that is an issue for the banks.
The Cleachon government and the Yellowknife Dene First Nation are currently working together to decide the path the corridor will take if it ends up getting built. Sarah Saint-Pierre, CBC News, Yellowknife.
The Yukon government has rapidly adopted AI into the territory's healthcare system. While some are embracing the new tools, others are concerned about the speed of the transition. Katrin Pilkington reports.
The Yukon government has been using medical AI tools in some clinics for over 6 months now. The tools are opt-in and do things like take notes during an appointment or fill out referral forms like this one, which can normally take hours and multiple appointments with a patient. Some doctors say the healthcare system is strained, putting pressure on providers to do administrative work.
So much of our time as clinicians ends up sort of going down to doing repetitive tasks.
Chirag Janwadi was inspired to come up with a solution after his grandmother passed away due to a mistake in her referral forms.
That was really the inspiration it brought me to brought the whole challenges that doctors face when it comes to doing paperwork in the forefront for me.
He created a tool called Spotlight, which can take a healthcare worker's clinical notes and use them to pre-fill forms.
What it does is it helps the provider move through paperwork faster and also take away the anxiety that comes from clerical mistakes that happen in paperwork.
It also helps to suggest referrals. Given how much the Yukon's healthcare system relies on locums, officials say it's helping fill a critical gap.
These people do not necessarily know our health system, and our health system is very complex. There's a lot of different referral places, both in and out of territory, and so to expect someone to come into one of our clinics and to actually be able to know the breadth of information that you are required to be successful is kind of a high bar. And so Spotlight was actually able to come in and to create a repository so that you can use keywords. So if you're sitting with a client and you're saying, okay, this person has housing instability or they have diabetes, what are the resources that we can actually refer them to both in and out of territory, and how do we get them there?
But not everyone is as enthusiastic. A recent report from Ontario's Auditor General found AI tools can hallucinate, providing incorrect or incomplete records. The report recommended more thorough evaluation and mandatory training on how to use the tools responsibly.
So when you're visiting your doctor and they say, oh, we want to prescribe this kind of drug, you don't want the AI scribe to get that wrong. And we're not saying stop progress. We're just saying put controls around the environment to ensure that we're not running off into the sunset with something that isn't working.
Bioethicists say AI tools made for clinical settings should be tested as robustly as any drug or medical device to ensure they're keeping patient records safe and not affecting quality of care.
But what if 60% of those notes are inaccurate? What if the patient histories you've taken or disease diagnoses and stuff are all fictional? That's a lot of work to go back and fix. So I think it could be a very useful thing down the road, but I think it's been jumped on much too soon.
Yukon Health and Social Services says it's introduced measures to reduce hallucinations, and the tools underwent a privacy impact and security threat assessment before being deployed. Katrin Pilkington, CBC News, Whitehorse.
Retired CBC Igalak host Rassi Nasalik is now officially part of the Order of Canada.
Rassi Nasalik.
Nasalik was one of 5 recipients honored on Wednesday in Ottawa during Canada Day festivities. Nasalik's appointment to the Order of Canada honors her work informing Nunavummiut and Nunavimmiut and helping preserve Inuit language and culture. She hosted Igalak for 18 years. Since retiring, she's served as elder in residence at Alberta's School of Public Health and as an elder advisor at the Institute for Circumpolar Health Research in Yellowknife. The Order of Canada is one of the country's highest honors. It recognizes Canadians who have made extraordinary contributions to the country. In Nunavut, Arctic Bay's senior administrative officer is hopeful a new water treatment plant could end the community's boil water advisory. The community has been told to boil its water since August of 2024. The Nunavut Department of Health says it's because of high turbidity in the water. That means there are particles that cloud the water and they need to be filtered out.
After a couple of months of running the water plant, people should be quite happy. If they can drink a glass of water from their taps in the buildings in the community, I think they'll be very happy and trust the water to drink again.
Moretti says the water treatment plant will open on November 1st, 2 months ahead of schedule. Nunavut's Kitimute region is buzzing with scientific research as a project studying the impacts of biting insects enters its 3rd year. Bianca McEwen breaks down what's been learned so far.
Summer science ranger Bo Taptuna says he used to know nothing about bugs. Now?
There's quite a bit of bugs we catch. I would say in one good day, 5,000 to 6,000 bugs.
He uses a variety of nets to catch bugs for the Kitikmeot Biting Insect Monitoring Program, which started in Kugluktuk 3 years ago and is expanded to Johaven, Kugaruk, and Cambridge Bay. The project monitors insects and the parasites they carry and how they affect animals. Danny Noasad is a postdoctoral fellow at the University of Calgary. So far, she says the project has found insects are emerging earlier because of warming temperatures, and there's more types of insects compared to when this was last surveyed in 2010-2011.
Projecting into the future, it's very likely that there will be population abundance increases. So you'll see more mosquitoes on the land or more biting insects on the land, like just by volume, but also potentially new different kinds coming in.
Taptuna says last year's samples found just under 300 insect species in Kugluktuk. He says he's heard concerns from community members about what diseases insects might give to caribou and muskox.
It's important to mostly the animals, because that is our life cycle. Our base of our life cycle is the animals, because we rely on the animals to harvest them.
Hannah Zikalala is a project manager in Cambridge Bay. She says she likes working on the project and being on the land.
I really like being part of something bigger, and this feels like something that's going to be really big and really helpful for our animals.
She says this work is important because she worries the caribou population might decrease because of diseases. In August, she'll present a paper about her work to elders in the community. Noasad says there's still more work to do and a research paper will come out in the fall. Bianca McEwen, CBC News, Iqaluit.
How often do you think about how your food gets on your table? For small communities in the Yukon, it can be tough to find food that's fresh and affordable. The CBC's Bruce De La Cruz traveled to the Yukon's most western community to find out how they're tackling the issue at the roots.
Beaver Creek sits nearly 450 kilometers north of Whitehorse on the Alaska Highway. This doesn't give locals a lot of options for food.
Because it takes about 5 to 6 hours drive from here all the way to the city just for us to get fresh goods.
But the grass has been getting greener lately. Misha Whitkopf moved to Beaver Creek in 2021. Her day job is White River First Nations Community Engagement Coordinator, but she tries to spend all of her spare time here at the local greenhouse.
So when I came here in 2021, it was like opening up an old library.
After seeing the lack of options for produce in town, she made it her mission to revitalize the space.
And then after living here for some time, I realized that fresh food is really, really important.
Her efforts over the years have paid off. People have started using the greenhouse again. They can either claim plots to grow their own food or take what they need from communal plots.
These are all beans, and in the middle here we have corn. So this is actually our first year doing corn in here too.
There are also food literacy programs. Wipkop says those help highlight the greenhouse's mission of teaching food sovereignty while building community.
One thing that I am thinking about doing differently this year than I've done in the past is having harvesting days so that people can learn how to harvest the vegetables and we can have an idea of what is going out. And because we've definitely come in times where there's like all the squashes are gone or things have been like cut way too early. And I think it's just that's the food literacy piece. That's why it's so important.
At the end of the day, Wipkop says she's committed to helping Beaver Creek keep things fresh, one crop at a time.
And tomatoes do very well with basil. I think it's really important to have a relationship with where we get our food. I often like to say, I want to know who and what is on my plate and where did they come from. The best.
Misha says that she's looking forward to building community right here in the garden during this summer. Bruce De La Cruz, CBC News, Beaver Creek.
A new short film is exploring a Gwich'in woman's deep connection to the practice of hide tanning. The title of the film translates to I Love Tanning Hides in English. Christine Craik of Old Crow, Yukon, wants to pass her knowledge onto the next generation and promote mental health. All this while navigating the impacts of climate change on food security and traditional practices. The film is part of a series for CBC's Creator Network. They work with independent producers to bring stories like this to the CBC. And we have it here for you tonight. Take a look.
That's my connection to the caribou. Started from birth. My family are very traditional people. We've always hunted. Even today, I mainly feed my children, my family, moose and caribou diet. I really take pride in how I harvest and put away meat, how I prepare my food for the winter, whether it's dry meat or dry fish, jar fish. I put a lot of time and effort into that. I continue that care when it comes to working on hides. I sit on the Gwich'in Steering Committee, which is an advocacy group for the caribou herd. And with the decline in the herd, there's been significant concern. The changing temperatures and the shift in our ecosystem is having profound impacts on our culture. I've been thinking a lot about food security and what that means for our people, because we are really struggling to continue these cultural practices. There's a loss of traditional knowledge and our ability to pass on these teachings to our young people. I really want to encourage hide tanning as a practice to promote mental health. It's nice. And I want to work with our community and our young people on creating a maker space here in Old Crow. The practice itself is so important to our well-being.
So winter tanning is the process of breaking down the fibers. It helps when you go to soften your hides. So you soak them and hang them to freeze, and while it's freezing, the fibers expand and break down, and that helps you in the softening process. Over the next week or two, all of the water in it will evaporate and it'll turn to more of freeze dried, and then I'll repeat the process. I'll put them back in the water, soak them for the night, wring them, and hang them back out. And I do that as many times as I can throughout the winter. And hanging them out here in the wind helps with the softening as well. The sun bleaches them and turns them really nice and white. So I wouldn't mind to do like a community project with this one.
I work on them when my energy is good and when the seasons are right and when I have time. I really try to be cognizant of how much I take on with work and children and life. And for me, hide work is a time to slow down, and it's really important for me to make sure I'm doing those in a good way and to a really high standard. To me, it's so meaningful because it's a time to think about what I'm doing to continue these practices that will ensure, our culture is passed on. I think about my ancestors often, and I wonder what they would think about my final product, whether it's to their liking, and yeah, I think about those types of things often. So my connection to caribou and to moose is it's almost all parts of my life.
And that is Northbeat for tonight. For news anytime, go to cbc.ca/north. Thank you for watching. We leave you tonight with celebrations from Canada Day in Yellowknife. I'm Megan Roberts. Have a good night.